everybody. It is Friday. I'm getting it done on time. It arrived. I have it. And I'm going to try to read it to you before my nurse comes. I have this nurse that she'll send me a text and say, I'll be there between 10:30 and noon. I think she used to work for the cable company. I mean, how are you supposed to plan around that? Anyway, we'll see. So we got us the journal for August 23rd. Okay, you know how they usually have like the person of the week or whatever. And I mean, they used to call it reader of the week. And then there was person, then they started doing like, there was like the Elks Club or whatever. This time, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. It's a real fuzzy kind of picture up there, but it says Cats of Phillipsburg. Have I mentioned before that it's not a newspaper, people. It's not a newspaper, but anyway. Okay. Trained and prepared, MVEMS, which is Mo Valley Emergency Medical Services, had trained for handling active threat incidents day before situation erupted at Geo Ice Processing Center. Last weekend, members of the local EMS fire department and law enforcement took part in the Warm Zone Activity Threat Task Force training at the elementary school. Prior to the person learned how to access the school with police in the event of, so obviously this is like a active shooter training thing. I was kind of wondering when they said EMS was training and they show a couple of guys with guns, but obviously they probably were teaching the ambulance guys to stay over in the staging area until we tell you it's safe to go into an area. Okay, here's one honored for their valor. Quilts of Valor ceremony at St. Peter's and Paul Church. They make quality quilts awarded to service members or veterans who have been touched by war. I've never heard of that. Sounds cool though. Let's go up here. Borough business, which of course, you know, when they just say borough, they're talking about Phillipsburg because they think that's all that people care about. Watershed Group urges borough not to give away Prescott Street. Save our cemetery, not going so well. New residents need big fence to block nasty neighbor. Jet has lots of questions. Borough to apply for pedestrian safety study along Route 322. Is someone living in the ball field bathroom? And security incident at Borough building. I'm telling you, I'm sure they make all this sound more interesting than it is, but I've got to check these out. Let's see. Borough, it's not to cut off Mashannon Creek access. Probably something about a street. Who cares? Let's get on to some of these other things here. I'm going to. It's always hard to tell for sure where they're continuing stuff at. The Phillipsburg Cemetery is down to $100,000 in trust fund. Okay. Resident request fence variance. A couple who moved to town in this street want to build an 8-foot fence to block out their neighbor, according to new neighbor. He throws trash, grass clippings, and dog droppings across the property line. I would think you just call a cop or something. Why do you need to build a fence? Councilman Jett refused to approve the July meeting minutes, alleging the minutes were very minimal. The minutes did not reflect council's full discussion in July. Yeah, whatever. Security current concerns over sewer. I don't know. Do they think things are going to come crawling out of the sewer? Who knows what's going on down there? Well, let's go back now. I notice on the front page it mentions Osceola. Fireworks approved for Spirit Days. Free Little League to bring baseball back to Osceola. Was it Little League ever not free? And I didn't know we didn't have Little League here anymore. Council considers an excavator. Adopts rental inspection ordinance. Oh, okay, that's going to be fun. Street parks looking good. Council VP replaced. Pitkin fails to show up again. Are we talking about that stupid dog? After lamenting the absence of Pitkin, the ice cream pup. Always intended the council meeting. Council President Rick Sipe got the meeting rolling. Fireworks at Spirit Days. Council. Buy the paint. Tim Blake, Borough Maintenance Foreman, informed council he and a few others had started a nonprofit baseball team to get Osceola to have baseball again. The plan is to have a fall league with tournament on September 28th in Tech, as well as have another tournament in the middle of October. Everything's been donated, uniforms and everything. Okay, cool. Groundwork on an excavator. Ron Depko, representing Rudd Equipment, presented a Volvo excavator to the board. Board engineer Michelle Merrow advised council now is a good time to submit a grant application for a piece of equipment. Councilman Joe Fox said Phillipsburg's Borough crew has been very helpful in coming down and lending equipment as needed. Council also watched a neat video about the Volvo. And now the Journal is convinced we also absolutely need one. President Sipe then clarified the purpose of the exercise was to lay some groundwork for buying such a piece of equipment. We're not committing to purchasing Rental inspection ordinance adopted. I'm going to find this interesting. Code enforcer Gary Jones asked the council adopt a rental inspection ordinance aimed at guaranteeing tenants are ensured a clean, secure, safe environment in which to live. I think they wanted an R at the end of AFTE. After some discussion in which it was assured landlords would not be subject to surprise inspection visits, council adopted the ordinance. Jones also updated council on a few dilapidated structures slated for teardown and said the chimney on Curtin Street is gone. Okay. Which the Journal assumes Osceola residents will understand the meaning of. You assume incorrectly. High praise for the street crew. Look. I know everybody in Osceola watches this, so I just want to put this out there to Code Enforcer Gary Jones. If you come to inspect this rental property, I can tell you right now to go fuck yourself. High praise for street crew. Councilman Fox praised the street crew for the wonderful job they've done patching the roads. Yeah, okay, isn't that their job? They need special praise for doing their job that they're paid for. Taking home base a little too seriously, Blake spoke up to say that there is a homeless issue in the dugout of the town Little League field. Though there are motion-activated lights that come on, people get in the dugout where they can't be seen, said Blake, and his crew had to clean out feces before the games. It also smells like urine in there. Hey, maybe it's a bear. What do you know? Trees to be chopped. Blake's request to have some trees bordering the field cut down at a cost of $700 was granted. Public grant workshop. There's a public grant workshop in Osceola Mills sponsored by State Representative Dallas Kephart, who I wish would leave office. That many on council, Mr. Blake expressed interest in attending. Ritchie replaced. At the end of the meeting, President Sipe noted that Mr. Benny Ritchie, a councilman, had been absent from the last 4 out of 5 meetings. Council voted to vacate his office of vice president and replace him with Councilman Eric Bazilla instead. Well, let me editorialize a little bit about Mr. Ritchie. He's been elected to council several times, and I don't think he has ever served out a full term. One time, I think he quit before his first meeting. Yeah. But he's one of those people that likes to run around town and run in his mouth and saying what everybody else is doing wrong. Okay, we got obituaries. Barbara Robbins Belko, born in 48. Gregory K. Turner, born in 58. That sounds like somebody I should know. He was the son of Shirley Taylor and Donald Taylor. He married Deborah Turner. I think Debbie Turner used to come into the library with their kids. We also have a Nancy M. Hugar Verust, born in 38. There's a whole page about the local high school football teams. Used to have a couple of years before. Toby's old enough for that, and so I don't need to waste time on those articles. We got ads, we got ads, we got ads. We got classified ads. Okay. Let's check out Memory Lane. Walking tours now available online. So Memory Lane has a picture of a building, and it says nothing about what it is or how old it is. The news just keeps getting newsier. And then you have the thing over here about cats. That is everything they thought was important to tell you this week. What could I possibly add to that? It's all there. So, hey, we'll see you next week. In the words of Spock, hasta la vista, baby.